Hello, everyone. This is Felicia Bender, the Practical Numerologist, and I'm coming at you with your numerology forecast for the one personal year for October 2023. So real quickly, if you are new to numerology, I ask you to please take just one moment and go over to FeliciaBender.com, click at monthly forecast. There is a calculator there that can reconfirm or simply calculate your personal year for you. There's also a very quick calculation in the description box. The reason I say this up front is because these forecasts are based on your personal year number in numerology, not on your life path number. All right, so those are two entirely different things in numerology. So we want to make sure that you're at the right place at the right time, listening to the correct forecast. So with that said, we are jumping right in. If you are in a one personal year in October, this is a number 2 personal month for you, a number 2. So what does that bring to the table? This really is a month to regroup, to recalibrate, and to reset your priorities. So think back to January of this year of 2023. So if you can kind of, scour the crevices of your memory, what was unfolding for you in January? Because the energy of the month of October is the same, numerologically speaking, of the number 2 as it was for January. It's that softer, more relationship focused 2. It's also an energy that demands a little bit of patience and diplomacy, right? So I find that when we repeat a cycle within a cycle, meaning that you are revisiting the energy of the number 2 for a personal month within a full personal year cycle, it's really beneficial to look back and to see what was happening during that month, and then to see how you might be being offered up some similar themes, some similar activities, some similar issues, so that you're kind of up leveling your experience as you walk through it one more time this year. All right. So it's time where you can elevate and integrate more deeply the lessons and the opportunities presented to you at this time. All right. So this is the month to slow it down, to refuel, to check the coordinates on your map, if we want to use that kind of metaphor, because often during a one personal year, if you've been following me for a while, you know the themes that you've been working with all year long, right? That action, initiation. This is a new start, a new beginning for you all year long. You're really in the final throes of it. So you've got to have to really be very intentional about what you are putting into place. And in a one personal year, there's often so much work to be done, so much to manage that you're dashing through it all like on urgent business or deadlines, all of that, leaving very little time maybe for emotional bandwidth, for taking a breath, slowing it down a little bit, or giving yourself permission to adjust your course. Sometimes during a one personal year, well, let me back up. All the time in a one personal year, it's not just a feet on the ground, January 1st, you have a linear path in front of you and it's go, 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 achieve, achieve, achieve. It's not that. It really is a feeling out of the plant, of the what you want to plant, the seeds that you want to be planting this year. So this is a month that allows for, or even let's just be honest, right? It's going to force you to suspend yourself for just a moment. If you're a movie buff, kind of like Neo in the Matrix, slow motion, bending in a backwards sort of limbo position as you dodge a bullet or 2 or 3 or something, right? You kind of can feel that way. I know I'm being dramatic, but you get the picture. You kind of have to slow it down, and it might feel as though things are going a bit in slow motion, right? So October is a month where you'll be feeling slightly more emotionally sensitive. That can go either way, where you're feeling really attuned, right? Really energetically, psychically, intuitively in alignment with yourself, or it could be where you're just feeling raw, right? Feeling kind of overwhelmed by emotions as well. So either side of the fence is exactly what the 2 energy is bringing in for you in October. It may or may not come as a surprise to you during this hard driving year that's really mostly been focused on getting things done, moving things forward with all of your tenacity and reserves, right? So this may feel a little more tender to you this month in October. So the year has been active and ambitious, and I kind of dare say it can feel as though you've been herding cats, right? So more metaphors I'm going to throw at you, but it's like herding cats. Like you're trying to get everything in line, but oh dear God, it's it's not maybe not the easiest thing in the world. And most of those cats are probably running feral, right? In your own mind, at least they are. So it's if to kind of tag on to that energy that you've been working with, massaging and directing, getting direction within all this year long. So right now, there can be some breaking points, some revelations, and some downright changes in direction. So I'm going to ask you here. So do you remember the old GPS systems? Those of you who are younger probably are like, what are you talking about? There used to be GPS system. Before that, there were maps like with paper. But after that, GPS systems that would be in your car, and they would actually, whenever you missed a turnoff or you went a different direction, there was a very passive aggressive voice from the GPS, and it would spat out to you, redirecting, recalculating, and it was a very very scolding tone. So October might have some of that kind of blunt recalculating energy to it. So the bonus point here is that you're being asked to be calm and center yourself. No matter what kind of chaos might be going on the outside, you can be the eye of the hurricane, right? And you can remain calm within all of that chaos, and be a grounded central point for it. So I would say probably that there's going to be a little chaos this month for you to practice, for this to become a little bit of a practice sport for you. So don't let anything knock you off your center if you can possibly help it. So this can be a month where you feel as though your soul and emotions need to kind of catch up to your external world and begin to integrate in order to form a more complete and complementary whole. Like you've been through a lot, let's face it. These past, last year was your transitional 9 year, your number of completions, kind of closing things out, your commencement, your graduation time. And the year before that, it was readying you to move into this very substantial transition period. So you're eking toward the end of your 3-year transition cycle. So if you're a little, I don't know, if you're a little fatigued, I wouldn't blame you. If you were a little tired at this point. And so take this opportunity, because October is a month of slowdowns, some delays, maybe even some downright stoppages. So just allow yourself a moment, for goodness sake, to rest, to kind of tend to other things that aren't so action driven. So the forward surge of these last 10 months or even 12 weeks may well continue into the first week or so of October, and yet this fast pace will subside throughout the rest of the month, allowing a welcome respite from the intensity of the year, particularly when what you experienced during that peak month of September, which was a crescendo in the new beginnings energy of your one personal year. If you want to share in the comments what happened, how that showed up for you, maybe in September, if you can reflect on that now and see how that played out for you individually. So On or about October 9th, be prepared for some delays with some of your endeavors that have recently begun. And you may have anticipated some of this, right? It may be built in to the projects or to whatever it is you're doing. And you've already maybe made allowances for them or put them in the schedule, right? There's going to be this delay or this time that we've got to wait for the permit, or we've got to, whatever it is, just using that as an example. But, otherwise, what I'm going to say is some other delays and everything might become, I don't know, a little bit of an inconvenient surprise, probably around October the 18th. And really understand that most of these delays are not going to be within your control, which is, of course, everyone's favorite, I say with slight, moderate sarcasm. So you just have to roll with it. In a 2-month, you're being asked to simply be patient and understand that whatever delays that you're experiencing have to do with right timing, that everything is going to work out at the right time in the right place, just not how you had constructed it or created your expectations in your own mind. All right. This can be an enjoyable, if you make it into an enjoyable time, or at least it's going to be a pivotal month if you allow yourself to embrace this hover mode for a moment. So whatever you do, don't push it. It'll just offer you a plate of frustration and also interfere, like I was mentioning before, with critical timing. So the 2 energy of your month encourages you to use your time to catch up with friends, to engage in some lighter social life. I mean, who could say no to that? Right? Don't complain. Just, let go for a minute. Just, do some other social things. Just take a little bit of a breather. It can manifest through some restful travel, maybe taking time for more sleep, more exercise. Maybe you're going to take a yoga class with your bestie, significant other. These are just a few examples, just some things to slow it down, unwind a little bit. If you've been putting off finding a therapist, maybe dedicating yourself to a new eating program, looking into some other personal, spiritual health, whatever kind of support system that you've been thinking about, this is really the time. This is the time to do it. So whatever feels nourishing and slower is very, very on target and really beautiful for you right now. So this is all to say, give yourself permission to stand still for a moment. Yet if this is the time when decisions demand action, make sure that you enter into these engagements leading with the heart and with diplomacy at the helm. So you can still take the lead, but also notice and take cues from other people, right? So that's going to be the secret sauce to that kind of engagement in October. So even hard decisions can be made less difficult when dealt with directly and yet with understanding, right? Again, that diplomacy, a little bit of compassion underneath it all. So understand that the energy of October is very much at odds, really, with the underlying energy that you have been working with during your year all year long. Of course, except in January, because that was when you were also experiencing this 2-year. So it might not feel entirely comfy cozy, right? Might not be really comfortable. Or perhaps this energy feels more comfortable to you because of your overall personality, because of your character traits, because of your numerology profile, right? And how you engage in life. So maybe the one energy, the more assertive energy, the more outgoing energy, maybe is a little more of a rough go for you. So it depends on who you are and how this shows up for you. But this really is the time to see other people's points of view, for gentle persuasion, active listening, and with an emphasis on teamwork and cooperation. So it can be very much relationship focused this month, where you reconfigure an intimate relationship if you're currently involved with one, right? This may be where the needle turns in some kind of way or moves. Involve yourself in networking or other collegial relationship building. It could be for business, it could be for community building, whatever it is you would like to devote your energy to. This is a great supportive energy for doing that successfully in October. And it is still a real soft landing for you after a potentially really hard driving month in September. Allow yourself to rest, rejuvenate, and understand emotions might feel a little raw, a little vulnerable this month. And it's a perfect time to focus on getting things, or taking things maybe at kind of half speed. As you ready yourself to finish out your one personal year of new starts and new beginnings, as we roll into the last 2 months after this in November and December. So that is your forecast for the one personal year for October. If you are numerology curious, head over to FeliciaBender.com. There's everything numerology related there, from these written monthly forecasts to articles. You can book private sessions. I have a certification program, believe it or not. So anything that you find interesting with numerology, you'll find it at FeliciaBender.com. But in the meanwhile, I hope you have a fantastic month, and I look forward to seeing you back here for November's forecast at the end of October.